right, so we're going to have Michael Shinnick, who you guys now know well, and he's a dancing machine, is my understanding. So, I don't know what the business card says, but I assume it was dancing machine. So anyway, we're going to have him take you through, and again, this is kind of the last day, so throughout each day, we kind of position different pieces of the puzzle to help you guys kind of, keep your mind focused on different areas at different times. So, now we're kind of back into, strategy pieces. And so, Michael and then Michael will kind of take us through some of that. So, without further ado, let's welcome Michael Shinnick, and we'll start with this one. Go ahead.
Thanks, Steve. Are we all right? We're all set? Okay, we're going to go at a bit of a pace here because that's just the way I do it. I just want to, let's get through it. We've got we're all a bit tired, are we? How's the energy levels going?
Yes.
Okay, well, keep up. We're going to get on. We're going to get on with it. So, Steve mentioned yesterday about the e-myth, the entrepreneurial myth, all right? So the kind of premise behind the whole book is the technician who has the entrepreneurial seizure. And what that means is, I'm good at this. I'm working for this clown, so if he can do it, anybody can do it. I'm just going to go out and do this for myself. And then you realize it's not quite as easy as that. Does that make sense? You're out there and you realize, oh man, I've just got myself another job. Except you're working for yourself. It's the worst boss ever, right? So I want to kind of take you through a little bit of the mindset stuff. I'm a business coach, and really the point with that is that the business is always a reflection of what goes on between the two ears of the business owner. Make sense? And for me to make any sort of lasting change with anybody in a business, I need to get inside there as well. And just change that, because that's long-term change. We can do some tactical stuff, we can put some tactics out there, but ultimately for long-term change, I need to get inside the head and see where the belief system is, where the blockages are, okay? So I'm going to just take you through a little bit about how I do that, or how I go about that. That a bit of fun?
Yeah.
You ready for it?
Yeah.
Let's get going. Tell you a little bit about myself first, but let's see what, get these slides going, that'll be okay. Technology, yeah. Bear with me. Plug it back in again if all else fails, yeah? Alright, we'll go back to this. Go manual. Okay, so a little bit about myself. BCom, Bachelor of Commerce degree from Cork in Southern City in Ireland. Anybody know it?
Yeah.
There you go, that's me. Qualified management accountant for my sins as well. So who else are the accountants in the room? Any other accountants in the room? Oh. You and me, Jack, without a shout out. 12 years corporate experience with Barings Bank. Anybody here at Barings Bank? Yeah. It wasn't me. Yeah, that was Nick Leeson did his trick in Barings, and Bank of Ireland Asset Management after that. Yeah, sales market. I started off in 2005, and I just thought it was interesting with Jason and the lads yesterday when they started in 2005. I left the bank in 2005. People thought I was mad, leaving my permanent pensionable job and going out on my own. But I always wanted to do something for myself. So I came across a franchise called Action Coach. Anybody hear of Action Coach? Yeah. Okay, so I did a 5-year franchise with them. Loved it. I always remember the first day back from training, looking at the phone and going, that ain't going to ring, right? That's just not going to ring. And you had to make the calls. Make the calls, do the meetings, get the clients on board, then start coaching, then sending out more letters. It was just what we call perturbation. Do you ever hear that expression, perturbation? It's just serious, outside your comfort zone stuff. But that's what changes us. So I married 3 daughters, and before I was married to 3 kids, I used to play golf, go swimming, and all that kind of stuff. that kind of ruined all that stuff. So that's enough about me. If we can get this thing, I'm going to have to do this manual, I think. I always like that. That would always strikes me, because everybody, even when Jason was talking yesterday, that period of tough time, he nearly glosses over it now, but even when he was putting that presentation together, he still had sweats. So like we often think, and when we hear from people that success is this straight line, it ain't. It's more like that on the other side, and that's the pain that you have to go through. But you have to kind of push through, and that's ultimately what we're doing. I love this little quote from Winston Churchill: "You'll never reach your destination if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks." What does he mean by that? The shiny object syndrome. And we all do it. You go, "Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great." And you go, "No. Yesterday's plan is still a good plan. Don't change it every day. Keep the focus and keep going." And that's really it's a very important point on that one. Okay, I always like this little one as well. It's not the strongest that survive, nor the most intelligent, the most responsive to change. Isn't that so much the case for us online? It's about changing. God, whenever you start getting into your comfort zone and everything, it changes pretty quickly. Fair enough? We just want to get clear on that. I'm just going to try to get it. Okay, so what does that look like? Well, it's my interpretation of a brain, okay? And there's the left-hand side of the brain and the right-hand side of the brain. What's the left-hand side of the brain got to do with it?
Process, numbers,
Yeah.
logic,
Process, numbers, logic, all that kind of good stuff. And the right side?
creativity, emotion.
Yeah, creativity and all that kind of side. Okay, that's fair enough. So I'm going to go through this pretty quick. So the words, the maths, the logic, your process, your art, your music, your creativity and your feelings. Did you ever have a feeling you couldn't put into words?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have that feeling you just can't put it into words. That's the left and right hand side of the brain just getting mixed up. Alright? We're going to do a little bit of exercise. We're going to get a little bit of energy back in this room. So grab a partner. No, that's two people. All right. Two people. Probably you don't know them that well. Just get into groups of two. Come on, let's go. Not here all day. We're here for a good time, not a long time. Into two. Stand up.
Right, Jim. Oh, but you guys switch up. Find somebody else down there.
Okay, so everybody stand up. Pick an A and a B. So get the two of it and pick an A and a B. Have we got A's and B's picked? Okay, B's and the A's is going first. A's, hands up A's. Okay, what I want you to do is stick your two palms out in front. Right, bit of attention, we'll get through this sometime. Two hands out in front, backs and hands together, cross them over, hook them up. Ladies with the rings, try your best enough. Right, you got it? Now bring that hand back up inside. Now, the other person, the B's I do believe, point to a finger. Do not touch. Point to a finger and get the person to move the finger. Do not touch the finger. Just point to it and ask the person. Now keep doing it. Plenty of different fingers. Don't touch. Keep doing a few more fingers. Swap over. Is it the B's now, I think, isn't it? So the other person, hands up, I'll guide you through it again. Two hands out in front, cross them over, grip in tight, and bring it in underneath. Now point, do not touch the finger, just point.
He's laughing at me.
It's like you're trying to do your Okay, thank your partner and grab your seat. Okay, so what did you experience there? What happened? What was happening?
Perfect.
So what was happening?
Opposite finger.
Yeah, your brain got confused, alright? Did it get easier? Believe it or not? So ultimately the brain did start to reroute it again. Why? Because you kept asking questions. Do you know what I mean? You kept asking questions. You were there and you're going like, oh gosh, I'm making a bit of a fool of myself here. And you kept asking those questions, you got through it. Ultimately, your right hand side of your brain was beginning to tread it through again. And it's the same with us in business and wherever we are. You know, if you keep asking yourself questions. As kids, you know, in school we go, oh, shut up and go back down the back of the class and don't ask any more questions. But as adults, we need to keep asking those questions because the right side of our brain will work it through again. I think I was talking to somebody and you don't need to get the answer straight away. Have you ever left an answer and maybe first thing in the morning you solved the problem that you thought of 3 days ago? That's just by letting the right hand side of your brain work a little bit. Work on it. Don't put it under pressure, just work on it a little bit. That fair enough? So that's what it was about. Your brain went into confusion. Is confusion good? What do you think? Is confusion good?
No.
Can be.
Yeah, it always precedes learning. You're a bit confused, but don't shut down is the point. Keep asking those questions. That word. The fear of failure. What comes to mind when I say failure? Okay. How many here have made mistakes? How many here have made lots of mistakes? How many here have ever made mistakes? what happens?
You learn from it.
You learn from it. Yeah, if you take ownership for it. You start blaming other people, that ain't gonna happen. But if you take ownership for it, you will. You know, how many here have kids? How many here work kids? Right? What happened when your young boy or girl started to walk? What happened? Fell right down. You started on the side of the couch and they're like this and then they're walking. What do they do? Yeah, and you just dust them down and you say, get on with it. You don't kind of say, well, little Johnny doesn't look like you were going to be a walk. Just going to crawl in the corner, Johnny. You know, you don't say that. You just say, get on with it again. But as we get a bit older in life, there is that fear of failure. There's the fear of trying something new. As kids, we just did everything. That's fair enough. We just get on with it. Just do it. If we fail, it doesn't really matter. Whereas now we kind of think things a little bit more. What are the repercussions of this? What could go wrong? I kind of say, listen, the only failure here today is the failure to participate. Is it okay to participate?
Yeah.
We all raise our hands? Cool? Okay, we can raise our hands, so that's good. We're all in for the participation. And that's important because I want you guys to remember some of this stuff when you walk out of the room instead of going, oh, that was nice, whatever that was. I want you to kind of remember it, and how we remember it is actually getting involved in it, not sitting back and going. It is about getting involved and participating in it. And also we want to do, you know that little button we have in our head? That little switch that goes, oh I know, tried that, that didn't work. I know where this is going. Switch that one off for a while, is that okay? And instead kind of go, listen, isn't that interesting? Instead of that, just kind of, isn't that interesting? It'd be nice if I got this going, but it doesn't look like that's going to work. Does that make sense? So keep open and we'll have a bit of fun, we'll learn in the process. Why is it important to have fun? Is it important to have fun and work?
Yeah.
Why? Yeah, it does make it tolerable. It's also, it's energy. Yeah? We have energy, people like to be around people who are fun. It's that bit of energy and there we go. Okay, so I want to just go on and go, is this formula for success? I like formulas, okay? Hang on, my logical side of my brain, I like that. So, anybody seen this before? B by do equals have. I always start at the right hand side and work backwards. We kind of know what we want to have, okay? We set goals. You don't have a SMART goals, or like a specific measurable, yeah. All right? We set goals. We kind of know we need to do something, yeah? We have to take action as a result of the plan. Well, we kind of should take action. But what we don't, and me as a coach with people, I need to kind of go, well, who do they need to be? Because I'm presuming you're setting goals you've never achieved before, because there's kind of no point otherwise. So you're setting goals you've not achieved before. You're going to be doing things you've never done before or doing them differently to get different results, right? Einstein's definition of insanity. So who do you need to be? Between your two ears, who do you need to be? How do you need to think in order to do the stuff you've never done before in order to get results you've never gotten before? Does that make sense? And that's really what we want to be, what I want to delve into just a little bit today. And we're going to fly through some other things about how do we turn a job into a business. All right? So you got your thoughts, you got your actions, and you've got your
Results.
and that's what we want. We want the results. What does that look like?
Nice word.
Yeah, it's as good as I can do. So that's an iceberg, right? So the idea is how much of the iceberg is above the water and how much of it is below the water? Ballpark now. Which part sunk the Titanic? Right? Which part of the iceberg sunk? That part down here, about 90-10. It's kind of the same with ourselves. What we see, or what people see of us, is that little bit above the iceberg. Our behaviour. Fair enough? Sorry, Stephen, I'm blocking you off. So what's above them is our behaviour, and our behaviour is coming from our decisions and our actions that we take. Does that make sense? We decide something and we take action. Okay, I often love the example of New Year's revolutions, as they call them. New Year's resolutions, okay? What happens January 1? What are you going to do?
Everything.
In 1 month. That I've never done in the previous 46 years of my life. Okay. But the point there is you decide on January 1st, I'm going to get fit. Whether it's lose weight, I'm just going to get fit, right? So what do you do? What do you do? What action do you take? What decision? You've made the decision. What actions do you do? Getting fit, what do you do?
Go to the gym.
Go to the gym. So you sign up in the gym. What do the car parks of a gym look like in January? Busy. What about March? You rock up to the front door, straight in. All right. So what's after happening there? And that's really what I'm trying to get to. Instead of making short-term decisions, I want to change what we call the identity underneath. Does that make sense? So that it'll happen automatically. It's like giving up an addiction. It's like giving up smoking. For a while afterwards, you make that conscious goodwill, that kind of the willpower. You make that willpower decision, but you can falter if you don't change what we call the identity underneath. The same thing with business decisions, ultimately. All right. So here we are, decision, behaviour and action. So what's one of the major contributing factors to our behaviour is our skills. So a skill is something that we're good at. So we migrate to things that we are good at. Is that fair enough? So if we're trying to change some decisions, skill up. Alright, but that's one of the easiest ones. That's one of the shallower ones. Now, a belief. What's a belief? Anybody?
Necessity.
What's that, Jim?
Necessity.
Yeah? Yeah. It's something you kind of, I know you're using the word believe, you think is true, or you believe is true. Is that fair enough? That's a belief. Is it true? Is it?
Maybe. You believe it.
It's true for you. That's the point. Does that make sense? It is true for you. If you believe it, it's true for you. Whether it's right or not is a different thing. Did you have beliefs about your business or Amazon that now you've changed and that you kind of go, well, that wasn't really right? Well, you were adamant about it at the time. And ultimately, that belief affected your behavior, your decisions and your actions and your behavior. So what we're really saying here is if you want to set goals, you want to have new goals, you've got to alter your behavior, but it all comes down here. It's this 90% below the iceberg. The next one is our values. What do I mean by value? Something that we think is important to us. All right? So if we're trying to do something and it's against our value system, our why, yeah, see that? Try that one. If it's against our why, it's going to grate against us. Does that make sense? We're going to struggle on that one. And one of the deepest and the most important ones is this. Our identity. What do we say to ourselves about ourselves when we're by ourselves? The words that come after I am. Two most powerful words in the English language. I am. I can't and I don't are others. But I am. What do we say to ourselves? I often come across when I'm coaching salespeople, I kind of don't do the big orders. He does the big orders, I do kind of anything up to $5,000. Complete identity. It's what we say, what we have ourselves packaged. This is the way we are. And we want to change that. We can change that over time. Now, one of the most important things, what does the iceberg float around in? Water. I'll help you out on that one. So it floats around in water, which is its environment. Alright? Now we float around in our environment. And if we are victors, we shape our environment. If we're victims, we let our environment shape us. Alright? So we're kind of saying, how do we shape our environment?
By the people we surround ourselves with.
It's the most important thing. By coming to events like this. Our environment, people who are in our environment. Who's in our environment? Give us a few examples of people that are in your environment, of things that are in your environment.
Friends.
Yeah. Your friends, your family, your networking, whatever it is, that's your environment. But what we're really saying is, to really make that difference, if we go back to the New Year's resolution example, if you're living in a house, or you're sharing a house with people who kind of drink beer and eat pizza every night of the week, it's not going to help you get fit, right? Whereas if you're there and you're with other people who are, well, they're great athletes, they've achieved a lot, they're going to help you. But it's also a conducive environment, does that make sense? The environment that you're in, they're kind of getting up and going out, so you're there, better turn off the TV, I guess. Get out and do it yourself. Whereas if they're slobbing around, it's difficult for you to do that. Does that make sense? Yeah, we all heard the example of, your income is, the sum of the 6 people you hang around with or whatnot. Whether that's true or not, it's just about your environment. And we're basically kind of saying, if you want to change where you are at the moment, check all these guys out. Check that stuff. Because that's going to happen. Whether it's consciously or subconsciously, that's going to happen and we need to change that. Does that make sense? So we all have a few beliefs and a few of these things that we can look at. And I always say, listen, do that identity iceberg audit on your goals. When you've done your goals, you're going to go, now who do I need to be? What skills do I need to do? What beliefs have I got that are holding me back on this one? Can we change beliefs?
Yes.
Yeah, it takes a bit of time, but we can. We can chip away at them. We can work on them. Alright, let's see where we are now. Okay, so you can see where it fits into that previous formula. This is your B. That's your do. Whether it's conscious or subconscious, you're going to do the stuff and you're going to get the results. That's what you're going to have up above. Alright, happy with that? Don't want to spend a whole lot of time on that. I'm just going to do one more slide on it. We all like that, right? Quality of life?
Yeah.
Or quality of business, whatever we want to talk about. It starts off down here. The quality of mentors or teachers that we have. Yeah, fair enough. Does that affect this? The quality of your knowledge and education? Yeah. Does that affect this? The quality of your beliefs and dreams? You can dream bigger, you can believe it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Alright? The quality of knowledge and education, does that affect that? The quality of the questions you ask. If you know more about something, can you ask better questions? Yeah? Go. Alright. Do we make better decisions when we've asked better questions?
Yeah.
You see where this is going? Alright. And then, do we take better actions as a result of better decisions? Alright? Let's reveal it, guys. Then we're going to get the quality of results. Alright? Now, I'm going to go back and go, where does it all go pear-shaped? What do we all do? We change our goals, we start in here, we make a different decision. I haven't even bothered with this stuff down here. We make a different decision. What happens to the actions? Same results. Same actions. Take same actions. And we go back and we try it again, and again, and again. And what happens? We burn out. We decide, you know what? Go back and get a job. Does it make sense? Yeah? So we're kind of saying, listen guys, gotta work on this stuff below. Who are your mentors? What is your knowledge and education, beliefs and dreams? Because it will flow from there. And we often just intuitively, we start off from here. Yeah. Is that what works? Alright? Very important. So you got your B down here, you got your do, and you got your results again, alright? Enough of the be, do, have. Was that a learning?
Yeah.
You got it pretty cool?
Yeah.
So, alright, excellent. Okay. I put that one in for Steve. It is about that. You're looking for people whose why is bigger than their why not. Because you got to do it. Okay. The cycle of business. And this is where I want to just take you through the how do you get out of a job. That is not, it's more than just you and you're building it. We're starting off here in the mastery stage, the kind of foundations of a business. Then we're moving into growth, marketing and sales. Now, why do I have leverage ahead of team? Why do I have systems before team?
It's in the structure to work to.
Yeah. And it's very clear that you put it in that order. Otherwise, the difference between application and delegation. Application is, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. Or am I going to do that? Alright? Whereas instead of going, there's the system, this is how it's done, don't change it, do it. You change it when you get used to it, but do it now. You got to get the systems in first of all. I'm going to just take you through that. I'm not going to go into a deep dive into this. I have Steve saw the book this is a book of umpteen strategies in each of the areas, and I take people through as what I call a 90-day planning session, and we really come out with a 90-day plan at the end. We ain't going to do that now. I'm just going to take you through this level here and go, what's involved in the mastery level first of all? Because you need to get that sorted. Now, it's a continuous circle. As your business goes, if you've got a 100,000 turnover business, you've got certain mastery issues, you've got certain growth issues. As you go to the 1 million mark, you're back in some mastery issues. And you're back in different growth tactics and whatnot. So it is that continuous circle, but you've got to get the leverage before the team. What often happens is, oh, I'm going to get more team. And then there's lots of headless chickens going around with this. Alright? And I often use the example of the guy, the plumber and the apprentice. Starts off plumber, apprentice, grant, I'll pick up. Gets busy, what do? Get another van, and boy, off they go. Suddenly there's about 4 or 5 of these going around this. And the business owner turns it on. How many times they turn around and say, gosh, you know what? I was making more money when there was just one of us. Alright? So what's after going wrong? That. Got the team. Got excited. Got the team. Didn't put any systems or structure in place first of all. And we talk about the E-method. This really is a great. Has anybody read it? Yeah, it really is a very good read. What's his name? Michael Gerber. There you go. That's the one. Okay, so we're going to start off with the mastery issues, and there's 5 areas to master. Destination mastery, we've kind of talked about it. Not going to go into it a whole lot. Money mastery, what do you think that's about? That man in the corner, Mr. Duncan. All right. Money mastery, time mastery. Is that important? Do we all struggle a little bit on the time? Delivery mastery and mind mastery. And we've covered some of them, so I'm not going to go into a whole lot of them. But I want to just look at the goals first of all. You know, we talked about destination mastery and goals. And I want to really just what trips people up, because a lot of time goal setting doesn't work. Right, this is a business coach telling us that goal setting doesn't work. What's that all about? Yeah. What can trip you up with goal setting, right? What's that? It's as good as I can get on the graphics as well. So, that is the United States, all right? And you're starting off in somewhere like, where's that? Delaware or someplace like that. You're ending up in LA, all right? So you're going from left to right. That's like goal setting. I've just said that's my 10-year plan. What's the problem with that 10-year plan?
Then in San Francisco?
Yeah, you don't want to end up there. Yeah. Well, if that's a 10-year plan, what's the problem with it?
There's nothing in between.
Yeah, I have no idea where to start. All right? And the point is, that's what I want to see. I just need to see the next 150 yards. But I have to have San Francisco, or wherever the heck it was, plugged into this. That's actually streets in Dublin. Alright? But to use the sat-nav analogy, it tells you, right, start here, take a left, go 150 yards. What happens if you take a wrong turn? She doesn't go, pull up, turn off the engine, you're a clown. She says, what does she say? What's the... she's she for me. Recalculating. And you get back on track very quickly. But the point is, you now know you're excited because you've got 150 yards. What's 150 yards in a plan? It's the next 90 days. It's the next 3 months. It tells you this is what you need to get done in the next 3 months to get to San Francisco, to get to your 10-year plan. And where we are, and that's where goal setting goes wrong, is we do the 5. Wait, I think that one. That's pretty bad. Can't you hear me? That's no problem.
That's what year is that garment from?
I have no idea. The new yeah, that's probably a long time ago. It's graphics.
That's good.
I try my best. But does that make sense? That's really important that you need that's where you get the motivation from. So many plans sit on a desk, sit on a shelf. If I get this thing on now, we can move it again. Does that make sense? So what you need to do is just the next 90 days. That's really literally all you need to look at. Yes, plug in the 10-year plan, plug in where you want to go, get your goals going, but just the next 100. We need to live in the present. What's the problem with living? There's past, present, and future. What's the problem with living in the past? Intuitively kind of know there's no point in living in the past. What's the problem with living in the future?
You're missing out on the present?
Yeah, it hasn't happened. It's kind of obvious. The future has not happened. What can living in the future only bring? Fear. Yeah. Fear and disappointment. The power is in the present. Your power is in the present. And get that 90-day plan. Just what do I need to get done for 90 days? And get excited about that plan. Make sure it's a little bit of a stretch. If it's not, tear it up and go again. But get the 90-day plan. That's really what I wanted to just talk about on the goal setting side there. Money mastery, I'm going to fly through them. I'm not even going to mention them. It pretty much is what Duncan said yesterday. That is your money mastery. Know it. What is it? Your profit and loss, your dashboard, your cash flow forecast. Do you know the next 13 weeks cash flow forecast for you? Simple spreadsheet if anybody wants it. I'll send it on to you. Break-even point of product. What's your cash tied up in A, B, C, and D, your SKUs? Kind of talked a little bit about that. A being, very briefly, we'll use the A for awesome, alright? We'll go American on this one. Alright? Awesome. What could B be? Basic. The C is going to be can't deal with in its present form. Alright? Am I writing great? And D is, we're going to go with the dead word this time, okay? So A, B, C, and D. Now, I'm going to draw one big line here. 80% of what is up here? Your A's and B's. 80% of what? Yeah, 80% of your profit is up there. 80% of what is down here? Cost, problems, pains in the ass, all that kind of good stuff, all right? So the whole idea is, it's the Pareto principle. You heard the 80-20 rule before. We have 80% of our profit up here. We need to find out who these are. The awesomes and the basic. Can't deal with. They either become basic or they go dead. But the dead are those ones that you know are just sucking the life out of your business. 80% of the profit up here, 80% of the hassle here. All right? Just a simple thing. Just get that A, B, C, and D, your SKUs. Bookkeeper, financial controller, all that. So money mastery. You're going to have different money mastery issues as the business grows, but you really, really do have to focus on that. Time mastery. Okay, what's the problem with time management? It's nothing to do with time.
Can't be managed. It's your activities that
Yeah.
can't be managed.
We all have 24 hours in the day. Whether you're the most successful person or the biggest waster ever, you still have 24 hours in the day. It's our relationship with time. It's what we say to ourselves about time. Make sense? And there's a concept I call it kind of default diary. I'm going to go through some of the little tactics on that. Anybody ever hear of a default diary before? You know, you probably heard the example of the guy with the container and putting the rocks and the sand and the gravel in it.
Yeah.
Anybody hear about that?
Yeah.
So the idea there is the default diary is your rocks. What are your most important things that you need to get done every week? Who's had a busy day, a good busy day, and they kind of go, didn't really achieve all that. Yeah, we all have those? Yeah. So they're the kind of urgent stuff, but they're not important. They're urgent and not important. Whereas we need to be getting some not urgent, but important stuff into your diary. And you default it in, so you put it in, like a default diary is very simple. It's just like that. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 8, all the way through on the hours. And you'll just put in there, it's default. It's not it has to happen the whole time, but all things being equal, if you need to do a client meeting or you need to do a meeting with somebody else, that's fine, just fill it in there. This is just a sample. But you need to put your rocks in there. You know, Monday from 9 to 11, that's when I'm going to do that task. That's my PPC time, or that's my this time, or that's, and I'm going to meet with my VA, or meet, you know, it's just got to be in there. Otherwise it isn't going to happen. You're going to be kicked around. Your environment is going to kick you around. Someone's going to ring, or you're going to get some email, and suddenly by the end of the day you go, that was busy but not productive. So that's just an example of a tactic on that. I'm not going into a lot of the detail on time mastery. I'm just kind of showing these are the mastery issues. Things to stop doing. And we all are good at these to-do lists, but just stop doing some stuff is important as well. All right, so that's your default diary. Delivery mastery, consistency, easy to buy, productivity, scripts, customer complaints, mystery shopping. It's delivery. It's how we go about delivering our product and service. Is there problems? Get it all sorted. You can certainly see as you grow your business, these might change. These are just different examples, but you need to deep dive into your delivery mastery issues in your business. Who here does customer service? Yeah. Can be great. And mind mastery, we've kind of talked about the mind stuff there. What's your B do you have? All right? So mastery issues, it's the foundation. It's not sexy, but it's really important to get that right. And you get those basics right in your business. And you move on to what's next? What are we doing? We now have to start doing some selling and marketing. All right? And I'm just going to put up this, what I call the business profit equation. It ties in, it's a bricks and mortar business, online business, exactly the same. Same kind of philosophy. I'm going to fly through this now. Number of leads, or number of sessions, whatever you want to call it. Your conversion rate equals number of customers, yada, yada, yada. All right? Number of leads by conversion rate equals the number of customers you've had by the number of transactions. What do I mean by number of transactions? How often do they come back, if they come back at all? Average euro sale, it's an average. Equals your turnover, your revenue, whatever you want to call it, by margin equals profits. What are the most important numbers there? Are they the ones I've highlighted? Number of customers. What's the problem with those numbers? What comes before it? That. That's a resultant, an equal sign. So we need to, what I call the 5 ways. These are the 5 different areas you need to work on. And let's just put a few numbers on it. It doesn't really matter what the numbers are. I'm just going to put the numbers on it just for illustrative purposes. All right? And we're just going to get a bit of participation just to help me with the maths. All right? So 4,000 by 25% conversion rate. Doesn't matter now about the absolute, right? 25%, 1,000 customers. So then we have, how many we get them coming back twice, an average sale of €100. What's our turnover? 200,000. 25% margin. All right, this is a tough one. What's the profit? 50. All right. Now, so if we're here and we're saying, what I need to do is, when you go to the gym, do you work on your right arm for a week and then come back and work on your left arm for a bit? No, you kind of do a bit of everything. Same here, he's saying, over the space of a year, if I can just change each of these 5 numbers, what are the ramifications for that? We just say 10%. So we go back up at the original numbers, help us out, 4,400, all right? What conversion rate increases by 10%? What does that give us, a conversion rate of what? 27.5, cool. Not a massive increase in conversion rate. That gives us clients, how many clients do you think we'll have? Yeah. What percentage increase is that? Just by a 10% here and a 10% there, what have we got now? 21. So you can see the multiplication factor coming through here. We getting excited?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. 2 to 2.2, 100 to 110. And we're up to 2. There you go. What? That's a 46% increase, okay? I've done this before. All right, so now we've got a 46%. Does that, like the thing is, if I said to you, we're going to increase your profit by 46, or we'll increase your sales by 46%, you kind of go, yeah, right. But if we're going to increase each of these by 10%, that's not a big deal. But you're focusing on each of the 10%. It even gets sexier. Missed one. No, it doesn't. Almost. All right. 61% increase in profit just by focusing on each of these. So what we're doing here is we're going, what are the strategies under each of those? You got a book over there. I got about 300 or 400 strategies in each of them in there. It's just to look and go, well, how do we increase our margin? Can we all think of a few ideas on how we can increase our margin? Absolutely. Average sale. What can we do to increase our average sale? It's just a statistic. Just to increase that average sale just a little bit. Number of transactions, how can we get them coming back? We don't need everybody to come back. We want just a number of people to come back. So what are the strategies? And we measure and we test and measure and we get kind of a little bit anal about that. I'm going to go back to the old school here, guys. I'm going to bring this up here. Almost. Now you know why I didn't do that in the first one. Is that back up? Okay. Does that make sense? Can you see where you can use that? So you're looking at this from your own point of view, your number of sessions. How do we increase that? Just looking at increasing that statistic itself. And then our conversion rate. At 25 to 27.5%, that's a miserable increase in conversion rate. I've seen conversion rates go a lot better than that, but just for the sake of it, just to go, is that straighter now again? Yeah. Okay. And just by really bringing down your numbers into those key performance indicators, you can really get a good idea of where to start. And that's what you look at. That's how you get a 61% increase in your profit. And you do that every year. Just go back at it again. But what's the problem? What's the starting point here? You have to know what each of these are. You can break this down per SKU, for whatever way you want to do it. But you need to know the starting point. You need to know the numbers. You need to know the language of business. All right, next one. Leverage systems. 3 steps, very simple. Process flows, how-to manuals, checklists. Not going to deep dive into it. Do we all understand the necessity? It's not the sexiest part of any business by anything, but like the whole system. Who loves writing up manuals and how-to manuals here? It's just that kind of necessary evil, isn't it? And there's different ways of doing it. We say write up how-to manuals, people do videos or screenshots or whatnot. Whatever works. So what quality level would you accept if you were placed in charge of a product line or service? Yeah, 95%? Is that good? It's not bad. 96? We're getting better. Strangely enough, we're getting better again. So it's kind of like how much? 99%? That's pretty good. Some companies have sought to hold their reject rates down as low as 1/10 or 99.9%. That sounds pretty good. If you were getting to 99.9%, it'd be pretty good, wouldn't it? Yeah. If 99.9% is good enough, then 12 newborns will be given to the wrong parents daily. All right? 114,500 mismatched pairs of shoes will be shipped every year. 2.5 million books will be shipped to the wrong covers. 2 planes landing at Chicago's airport will be unsafe every day. All right, you're getting the point here, right? We'll go through them. But it's in certain businesses, it's non-negotiable. We're kind of saying for your business, yeah, it's not as critical as a lot of planes landing in Chicago's airport, but you need to have the systems in place to be able to do it. To be able to get it right the whole time. It's an awful waste of time and an awful waste of money when you're going back fixing things. Fair enough? Yeah. Demoralizing as well. So there's this expression that I like to use: systemize the routine and humanize the exception. It's back to that 80-20 rule. 80% of what we do in business is routine. It happens every day, a week, whatever it is. But systemize that routine, and then you have the headspace to get stuck into the exceptional items that come in. Instead of kind of going, oh, my head is fried with this day-to-day stuff. And you can start working on the strategy. That's what you're here for. The strategy, the exceptional stuff. 80-20. All right, so we're on to team. Making progress here. How are we doing on time there, Steve? Okay, good. All right, so we're at team. 6 keys to a winning team. Listen, there's day-long workshops in each of these. I'm just going to go, we're going to go flying down here. Strong leadership. What defines a strong leader? Give me a few characteristics. Remember, full participation here. What's that?
They know where they're going?
They know where they're going. Yeah, that vision. Is that vision, have they articulated that vision to the team, and are people excited about it? Martin, I think we were talking about it yesterday, you know. If people aren't excited about the vision, about where the company is going, they're just going to go, well, listen, this guy's offering me $5,000 more. I get off this bus and on the next bus. You know, there's no real tie into the vision. Cheryl?
I would say pleasing personality.
Yeah, pleasing personality. It's nice to be around. Yeah. Any others?
Yeah, storyteller.
Storyteller, yeah. Yeah. So we kind of get the idea. Good, strong leader. Common goal. Where are we going? Rules of the game. Otherwise known as points of culture, or what's your values?
Sure.
That's the rules of the game. Next one is the action plan. What's the plan? Are we excited by it? Have they actually articulated it down the line instead of being, well, it's kind of in here somewhere and no idea from there? Yeah. Get that plan out there. Let everybody buy into it. Support risk-taking. What does that mean? Fail fast, exactly. You know, people have to grow. If someone's working for you and they're beginning to grow, what do they feel? How do they feel? Yeah, they're happy to stick around. I'm growing here, I'm learning. Whereas if you're you've kept them within this, you know, cotton wool sort of mentality, they're not growing, they're just going to get demotivated and move on as well. Support risk-taking within the rules of the game. All right? Don't step outside the rules of the game, but get on with it. Fail fast, get on with it, let them off. And 100% involvement and inclusion. You need to include and they need to involve. All right? Anybody ever read that book, 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, Patrick Lencioni? Yeah, it's really good. But there are issues in teams. The absence of trust or invulnerability. Is it good to have an argument in a business? Yeah. Why? It's kind of a sign they're interested. If people are arguing, they're kind of interested, right? Yeah, well, we need to manage it within that. But so that fear of conflict is, we'll all be nice to each other. Got to break that. So artificial harmony is what Patrick calls it. The lack of commitment, avoidance of accountability, and the inattention to results. Right? So 5 of the key dysfunctions in any team that you need to be really, really careful of. Okay, so can you see the 4 different areas of growing a business? One, mastery, you've got your growth, you've got that business equation, there's loads more to it, but just looking at those: lead generation, conversion rate, average sale, number of transactions, and your margin. Can anybody put that into their business? Can anybody start just doing that in their business from Monday morning? Could you look at that?
Yeah.
Whether it's at a SKU level or at your business on an overall level, get those numbers and start to improve. And just look now, listen, we're going to be focusing on each one of these. What are the 5 strategies, or 2 strategies within each of those areas that we're going to work on? And just focus in on those. Focus. Follow one course until successful. Not, we'll do something else tomorrow. All right? Just deep dive into it and be very clear on it. Get the number, know the number, and know if you're improving it. That make a bit of sense? Any questions, guys? I've got a couple more slides. If I have time, I'll go through.
Okay.
But I'd really like a bit of interaction from what are the questions? Where are you struggling at the moment yourselves? Yeah.
Short-term focus, really.
Short term?
A 90-day
Yeah.
structure.
You do it or you don't do it, or you should be doing it. What do you think?
It's all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. It is vitally important that you just sit down every quarter, reassess the last 90 days and look at the next 90 days and look at it with an idea to are we actually going towards our longer term goal. Make sense? Yeah. Anybody else? Where are you struggling? What's the struggle?
Constant change, to be honest.
Constant change? Yeah.
But I think if you say, well, if you have a 90-day goal, agree on that plan and stick to it. And
Yeah.
then if change things, then we can say no, because
Yeah, it's the default plan to an extent. This is the plan. If the proverbial hits the fan, yeah, we may need to change it. But for the moment, this is a good plan. And what I come across with a lot of my clients would be, oh, something else has happened, we're doing that, and I'm going, listen, stop. It was still a good plan last week. It's still a good plan now. Because you hop around from too many different things.
Too many shiny objects.
Too many shiny objects, yeah. What Winston Churchill said, stop throwing stones at every dog. Throw 'em.
Yeah, I'm just interested to know, how do you document the systems in your team, and how do you set clear standards for them to follow so that everybody knows the level of which each work?
Cool. Well, I can answer that, and anybody can answer that. But I think the main thing is, what are the KPIs for their role? So it starts with their role, the definition of their role, yeah, all the tasks, but what is their job description? And what are the key performance indicators? Not 20. What are the five key performance indicators? And just measure that. They might change for the next quarter, but you might want this person just to focus in on these for a while. And it's back to the strengths as well. You know, don't get them to focus on the weaknesses. Make sense, John?
Yeah.
Cool. I just want to... Any other questions?
Just what I like, when I saw your calendar and
The default diary?
it's things like having, doing gratitude journal or
Yes.
doing mindfulness, or we've taken to downloading the Calm app, trying to get 7-minute meditation, 10
Yep.
minutes, just switching off before we start the day. And when we do it, it's a much calmer day.
Yes.
And when we're not doing it because of
Yeah.
But when we take out just 10 minutes, it's amazing.
Cool. No, you're absolutely right. Slow down to speed up. You ever heard that expression before? Just slow down.
So
Chat.
just related to that, so for me, it's doing too much, seeing into the future, so causing a lot of confusion and chaos. So I like the 90-day focus. I think
Yeah.
that's the great success when I focus. And I like the levers, the 5 levers, because I can use that to set goal strategy, which can be measurable and will drive me in the right direction.
Yeah. The 5 ways that you're
Setting myself to
yeah.
focus back again. And then just looking at, so I use that brain FM.
Yes,
experience.
oh yes.
And it's bizarre, but it's like, it focuses, so that, all that's going on, when I'm switching to focus mode, it focuses. Yeah.
Any of you guys other try Brain FM? It's, you can try the download and get 5 free tests or whatever.
It's good.
But
Yeah.
for sleep and for focus, people are speaking very highly about it.
Cool.
I don't know how it works. But
What's that?
Yeah. Brain FM.
Brain FM, it's an app. Yeah, check it out.
Okay, so any other points from that? I just want to maybe, if we have a couple of minutes,
Yeah.
tactics versus strategies, because I guess it kind of fascinates me with, and you get caught in yourself. I have an Amazon business, so I do the same thing. The difference between tactics, we love tactics, right? You know, the latest hack or the latest this, that, and the other. And just want to draw you out just a little bit to go, you need to have a longer term strategy as well. What is the strategy behind the, yeah, we need to execute tactically. You ever hear a book, The Ultimate Sales Machine, written by a guy called Chet Holmes? Did you read it, Steve? Very good book. And he talks about strategies and tactics. And I'm just going to throw it up there and we'll go. It's a bit texty, but we'll get there. So a tactic, a method or a technique used to achieve an immediate short-term gain. So a tactic is like PPC or advertising or a direct marketing piece or whatever. Strategy is a carefully defined and detailed plan to achieve the longer-term goal. In business, a strategy is the overall impact, yada, yada, yada. To think like a brilliant strategist, you will design and combine your tactics, all right? So that's just a kind of a definition of the two of them. Let's move on. There's only a couple of slides in this, but I'm going to just put them all up there. Tactical executives think only in terms of making the sale today. It's the now, it's the here and the now, okay? So the idea, for example, if you tell them it's twice as difficult to get an appointment today as it was 5 years ago, they'll make the sales team work 5 times, or try twice as hard. Does that make sense? It's kind of linear, all right? Well, if it's harder, just do more of it. Well, I'd spend more on PPC, or I'll do that. I'll just keep going down that one route. Whereas a strategic executive will often look at the situation from a global perspective and see if they can develop some high-level strategy to solve the problem. They create concepts, all right? So let's just, I know that's kind of theoretical at the moment. I'm just going to kind of put, just using it, just a furniture store. Just pick this example for a laugh. We'll try and laugh at it, all right? Okay, so let's throw that up there. Describe the different sales process when selling a couch. The tactical approach tries to sell a couch, right? Just selling a couch, man. What do you want me to do? The result with that is the kind of store grows, all right? It grows, but it grows incrementally, maybe by inflation and whatnot. So it's just, they're kind of plodding along. Whereas the strategic approach tries to sell a couch, but also sells the store, your story. You getting it? You get what I'm saying? owner's devotion, how well. It's kind of like become a resource. They call it education. Do you ever hear of education-based marketing? Educate your clients. Step out of the commoditizing world you live in by being more strategic. Does that make sense? Most executives, should we say, are actually very tactical. We just need to look, or you need to get in and have a look at the strategy and say, all right, let's zoom out a little bit here. We can go down this PPC, or we can keep hammering this one, but what are we trying to build here? How do we tell our story? What is your brand story? What's the history? You know, if people are coming to you, it's the difference between, Duncan used it, I wrote it down yesterday, it's the difference between advertising and brand building. Make sense? And what are you doing on that story to build your brand, to be a little bit more strategic instead of constantly knocking on the tactical door? Yeah, we need to execute tactically, of course we do. But what's the strategy behind? What's the all-encompassing strategy that we're looking to achieve and telling our story? Does that make sense? Yeah. I don't have a whole lot else, guys, so I think we were pretty much done on time as well.
Yeah.
What I've done...
Michael had a question.
So,
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to somebody that said, hey, 90 days is too long. I have ADHD, I want to do a 60-day term.
Go for it, whatever suits you.
Okay.
Yeah, I said, like, there's no... People are always trying to make a science out of it. Whatever works for you. If you're making progress, if you're doing something every day in that not urgent but important.
Okay.
Does it make sense with the not urgent but important? The urgent and important stuff is, Michael, and that suddenly become urgent and important. Was it important for me? No, it was important for whoever rang me. But they butted into my life. Turn off that phone, turn off the emails for a while, and do your own stuff. Dictate your own day. Does that make sense?
And how much time do you spend on your 90-day plan? Is it we used to, if you spend 90 days work, I was at a company that spent 120 days planning the next year.
Yeah.
And it was like...
Yeah, that sounds like hard work. Real detailed people there. I normally spend about a day, not even sometimes. It depends. Like sometimes you can come up with your next 90-day plan very quickly, and other times you're going, you know, I've achieved a lot in the last while. I need to take a bit of time out and just work through it. If anybody wants to have, I have 2 copies of that. I just brought it along. There's ultimately loads of strategies in each of the different things. And I normally just go through that and say, well, what's the next one? It's a checklist of stuff. It's not an all-encompassing checklist. It's a good list of different areas. And that's a kind of brainstorming document that just helps me go through. You saw it the last day. Yeah, I'll put the PDF of that up there very easily.
You guys would really like that. It does help you through the checklist of, hey, have I thought of this? Have I thought of that? It's really valuable for you guys. And it's another great value add right there.
There we go.
Any other questions before we take a quick break? So obviously you can get him on the break as well. Let's give it up for Michael Shinnick.
Cheers, guys.